Thank you. Don't go too far as we will be back to you very shortly. Greenland's Foreign Minister Vivian Motzfeldt has said that while talks with the US are positive, they're not yet where Greenland wants them to be. Motzfeldt added it's too early to predict where the discussions will lead. Speaking alongside her Danish and Canadian counterparts, she also welcomed the opening of Canada's new consulate in Nuuk, the capital of Greenland. Danish Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen mentioned that the new meeting with the United States are already scheduled. Canadian Foreign Minister Anita Anand stated that the new consulate would strengthen both economic and security ties between Canada and Greenland. Let's listen in.
Yesterday we had the historical opening of the Canadian Consulate here in Nuuk. This provides an important connection between our countries and peoples. The Consulate will serve as an essential bridge for future cooperation as we work to secure peace and sustainability in our shared Arctic region. Greenland is facing difficult times, and I want to thank Canada for being a steadfast friend and supporter of our country.
So our work here from a diplomatic standpoint is going to serve many Canadians, many people of Greenlandic and Danish descent, and we look forward to people-to-people ties, especially amongst Northerners and Inuit.
So I'm just pleased and happy to be here, and I really think that this new consulate in Nuuk, together with other countries also opening diplomatic representations in Nuuk, yesterday also France, brings a lot of new opportunities for Greenland to embrace the world.
We are now being joined again by Major General Sudhakar G. Thank you so much for joining us back here. Can positive dialogue translate into concrete agreements without any clear timelines or guarantees? And what would success look like for both sides?
Elib, this has to be understood in the backdrop of what has happened in the recent past. Donald Trump was hammer and tong in capturing or annexing Greenland. So all these activities which are unfolding by the day are gradually in response to those kind of contingencies. It's a different issue that Donald Trump, because of international pressure and especially from the European Union and the NATO members, he has backed out from Greenland, but one doesn't know how is he going to take it forward, because something that comes into Donald Trump's mind, after a couple of months, he may suddenly, bounce back to similar kind of objective and get after Greenland and the European Union and the NATO members. So therefore, to answer your question in specific, there is a strategic realignment within the NATO forces, and to say the least is that there is a fracture which will take a lot of time to repair, and that fracture is predominated by lack of trust. When everything which was responsible to hold the team together for past several years, from 1949 to 2026, despite all differences, actually is subjected to something like lack of trust, which has been experienced in the recent past, is unlikely to bridge any kind of gaps or differences in the opinion, as also the course of action. Hence, after France, I believe France has opened the consulate, and now Canada and the Greenland, and therefore my take on the whole issue is that this is going to build up and result into a kind of a permanent fissure between the that is transatlantic countries and the European Union or the NATO members across the Atlantic in Europe. Back to you, Ellie.
And does Greenland's cautious tone suggest confidence in its leverage or concern about US intentions?
Definitely concern. U.S. intention is very, very doubtful after the Venezuelan operation and after what has happened or what is being threatened to be done in Cuba. In between, we had the Greenland. Things have calmed down a little bit for past couple of days. Maybe there are some silent strictures issued by the Supreme Court because the tariff issue is yet to be heard in the Supreme Court, which was expected in the first week of January or latest by last week of January. Maybe U.S. Constitution allows the Supreme Court to direct the president through different calibrated means so as to calm down. Otherwise, you will be subjected to checks and balances existing within the system, which the Supreme Court is empowered to. So one really can't say with he being a transactional and unpredictable leader, things may come up again. So therefore, to answer your question, I would say it definitely raises lots of concern in the rules-based international order in 21st century, and particularly when a thing like this is happening for an organization which has been in existence for more than 75 years and which has been holding out for good. So therefore, they will look at everything with suspicion because once bitten, twice shy. Once bitten by a snake, even a thread would look like a snake. Back to you, Ellie.
And what domestic, political or economic challenges might affect Greenland's negotiating position or the ultimate outcome of these talks?
Domestic politics, as far as the Greenland is concerned, there are far and few, 57,000 people living in Greenland, and Greenland is a huge mass of geography, around 2,700 kilometers north-south, around 14 to 1,600 kilometers east-west, and the coastline being 34,000 kilometers. In the Arctic, 2/3%, 80 meters with ice cover. So the domestic politics is going to be driven by, as per my assessment, by the stance which Denmark has been extending till date, that it is a country, the sovereignty of Greenland, it enjoys a partial sovereignty, autonomous status. People say that the semi-autonomous to autonomous status, and it is part of Denmark. As per the rules-based international order, no, there doesn't exist any scope for invasion by an ally or a partner like US. So that is one thing. They will definitely fight it tooth and nail, but unfortunately they do not have the military capability. So therefore the present or the current one of trade deal, FTA, I think it is a good harbinger of seeking partnership with like-minded countries. The European Union has gone in for an FTA with India. This is going to augur well to bring in partners which are going to stand by their requirement in times ahead, whether it is military capability or the economic might. Now, coming to the US domestic policy, as of now, the domestic policy in the United States is dead against the Greenland concept and annexing any kind of thing, although it has been building up since previous tenure of Donald Trump. Notwithstanding that, this is giving out a wrong message. I'm sure the Supreme Court of United States of America is seized with this new idea, and in times ahead, or for all you know, while we are discussing, they might have already given out very stringent directions to the leadership in the United States to abide with and not to go beyond a limit which will infringe upon the rules-based international order. Ellie.
Thank you so much, Major General Sudhakaji, for joining us here today on NewsX World. Polling stations in Thailand open today as the country heads to the polls in a highly anticipated